Hey guys, Steve Davis here, and it's been a privilege to interact with you all through the worship forum, and looking forward to seeing your guys' presentations. So here's my presentation on my strategic ministry plan and my approach. I focused on three areas, and I got a little chart here. First of all, the weekend worship gathering, and then missional communities and mentoring relationships. And I hope you can see that. I'll keep it up here for a few more seconds. There's some focuses with these that I want to highlight and that I highlighted in my ministry plan. First of all, weekend worship gatherings. I believe the first place to start is what takes place on the weekends. Not only should it be in the pulpit, though I think that's a great place to start with sermons. Having sermon series that focus on marriage relationships and parenting, done once, twice a year on each subject, I think would be beneficial for the church as a whole. You've got a great audience there. You got a captive audience, and so just a great way to disseminate to a lot of people some key scriptural truths on how to have healthy marriages and how to have godly families. But not only that, I really believe that in the weekend worship services, there should be a focus on families and being more inclusional in our families. And so in my ministry plan, I talked about some of the things as a youth pastor that I saw with parents just shipping their kids off to youth group while they went down stairs to the adult service. And I talk about how I think we need to rethink that and make what happens more inclusive of, especially like fifth grade and on up. It's a great way for kids to see worship modeled by their parents, and so I talk a little bit about that in my ministry plan. So I think first of all, the weekend worship gatherings, focusing on your sermon series, and especially as scriptures present teachings on marriage and families need to be highlighted, and that platform use is critical, but also making it family inclusive. I then talk about missional communities. And I like the term missional communities as opposed to small groups or community groups because I believe it communicates several things. One, it talks about being on mission, that we're supposed to gather corporately and then scatter. And I think we do better when, as community groups, we get together, we share our lives. I talk about that in the ministry plan. We share our lives together, but we're also impacting our community and our neighborhoods, not as individuals, but as a group. And so you get to really multiply the effort there. I also believe that having an emphasis on missional communities and getting families, whole families involved in these really highlights and puts an emphasis on the priesthood of all believers. That it's not just the pastors who are to teach, but it's anyone who calls himself a Christian. And so what a great environment, especially for children, to see not only mom and dad, but other adults living out their faith and being included and even being challenged as children to share their faith. And I really think that mission of communities is a great way to do that. And then the third area that I focus on in my strategic ministry plan, I really took to heart from Dennis Rainey and his book, Ministering to 21st Families. And that's specifically about mentoring relationships. There's a lot of things that can happen in a weekend service. There's a lot of things that can happen in a missional community that can help build and strengthen marriages and families. But sometimes there's things that are beyond people's abilities to be able to help with. And I think having a group of seasoned couples who have been through a lot of challenges and not just barely made it through, but are thriving, that have a vibrant relationship with each other and with the Lord, are great resources to help couples in crisis. And to help community leaders who might not be able to speak to certain situations that the couples in their groups are able to or are going through. And so I think if we identified some godly couples who could help, come in during these crises and help couples grow and walk with them through that, I think is a huge benefit. I also think it's a great way for them to pass down a legacy. There's a lot of couples probably in our churches that haven't been asked to just step up and to share their experiences and to share their legacy with other young couples. I think if we focused on that and encouraged them and developed, a system, a process to get these couples, involved in passing down their knowledge, I think would greatly help our marriages and help families in our churches. So those are three things that I'll highlight in my ministry plan. So hope it goes well with you guys and your plans, and let's just see families, growing in the Lord and seeing communities change because of healthy families and healthy marriages.